That was a Tribe Called Quest, Check the Rhyme or Reason. So if you have been watching a video lately, one that is making its way around the internet is of a Sunrise police officer about to attack a suspect who's already been subdued. And to his chagrin and anger, another officer intercedes. A female officer stops him from would have surely been an attack. He was going to pepper spray him. He was going to further attack. Already, the young man had been he had been subdued. He was in the back of the car. Then the officer turns his ire on the young woman who interceded. Now, mind you, the official response from police officer, from the police chief, is that this is appalling and this is unacceptable. But isn't it? Isn't it acceptable? We're not talking about a one-off. If that man was going to attack that suspect in full view of everybody with the cop cams on and all the officers around, it is not new. It happens all the time. And I guarantee you this, that isn't the first time he's done it at work either. We know that the professionalism of police officers is a very dangerous job, and they're getting a lot of latitude. And one of the things we allow that is that they have higher incidences of substance abuse, higher incidences of alcoholism, higher incidences of domestic violence. And we do that because they are doing a dangerous job. But crab fishermen do a pretty dangerous job, too. They don't get to wail on people. They're held to a higher standard. As a matter of fact, if a police officer drove by and saw a man attacking a woman, putting his hand on a woman around her neck the way he did, that police officer would arrest somebody. Why would we accept things that are supposed to be, the things that are supposed to be that are aberrant in society? Why do we accept them for police officers? Why do you just get to do whatever you want? And what's particularly telling is, why is it that this is an anomaly? Like, I was talking to a friend of mine who was a police officer for a long time, and he said the young lady should be commended. No, the young lady should be modeled. Everybody should act like that. It shouldn't be uncommon to see somebody stop somebody from brutalizing somebody. If you're a father and you raise your children, you don't get credit for that. If you're a police officer and you keep the peace and keep people safe and stop things from escalating, you don't get acknowledged for that. That's your job. It is what's supposed to happen. You're not supposed to let people do what they want to a society. We already have a relationship that is strange between communities of color and police officers. And we see a man who does whatever he wants. This is not new to him. I guarantee you that people in his family, maybe his girlfriend or his wife, has experienced that level of anger, because you just don't cut it off and on. If you'll attack somebody, you'll attack the subdued suspect, and you'll attack one of your coworkers, you'll do it to anybody. Are you honestly going to tell me that this guy doesn't have incident, and he has prior incidents? Why does he get to be a police officer? That should be a privilege. You don't get to do whatever you want. You don't get to brutalize people and get angry when people stop you. If you did that in any other walk of life, it would cost you your job. You couldn't do it any other walk of life. You couldn't decide to attack somebody because they were stopping you from breaking the law. You couldn't do it even if it was right. You can't just put your hands on somebody. Once that suspect was subdued, it was over, whether you were angry or not. And once that woman tried to stop you from going further, your fellow officer who swore the same oath you did tried to stop you from going at, you got angry with her? Why is it that we have so many people that are so brutal, so angry on our streets? You don't see them patrolling affluent streets. You see them on ours. And they get to act whatever way they want. They get to do whatever they want. If it is not acceptable at your job, why should it be acceptable at his? If you wore a uniform and did that at Amazon, you'd lose your job that next day. You did it in any other walk of life, you would lose your job. And you should lose the privilege of serving the people if you cannot control yourself. If you want to attack a subdued suspect, and you want to attack another officer of the law and a woman, you don't want to be a police officer, and you should forfeit that right. It shouldn't even be a case. No union should be so good that it allows somebody that brutal to stay on our streets. That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show. All right.